Hi everyone, Dr. Moses here. There's this narrative about stay-at-home parents, specifically stay-at-home moms. It's been around for ages that moms who choose to stay home with their babies or perhaps have no choice but to stay home with their babies, almost like they have it easy, like it's a walk in the park that they don't really do much. They get to stay at home and play with the baby, that they have a very good and perfect life. Um, so this talk is really not an indictment on parents that work. It's not an indictment on parents that choose to work. It's not an indictment on parents that want to stay home but are unable to stay home with their kids but have to work. All this message is about is to give flowers to those parents that stay home with their children. The narrative needs to change. Being a stay-at-home mom, being a stay-at-home parent is not an easy task. It's not a 9 to 5 job. It's a 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. job. There are no 1 hour lunch breaks. There's no pay. You don't get paid for it. There's no paycheck that you get with this. There's no health insurance that comes with it. This is just straight life, Monday through Monday. All right. This narrative that they don't do anything is very laughable because from the moment a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home parent wakes up, if they sleep that is, it's literally about this other child, and in some case other children, right? It's about getting them ready. It's about feeding them. It's about changing their diaper. It's about changing their clothes. It's about trying to entertain them. It's about, putting them to sleep. And when they're asleep, you're making the food for when they wake up again. You're probably doing laundry. You're probably doing, maybe cooking. You're probably cleaning the house. You're probably doing dishes. There's a never-ending list of things to do. The house is always a mess, not because they've been home all day and they chose not to clean it. It's because they've been home all day and they haven't had time to address cleaning the house because of the 1 million other things there is to do. So as a partner of a stay-at-home parent, it is very important that you please come home and appreciate your partner. Don't disparage them and say, hey, like, you've been home all day. Like, how come you couldn't do the dishes? You've been home all day. How come you couldn't mop the floor? You've been home all day. How come you couldn't do this and do that? There are a lot of things that has to be done. And you have to understand that a stay-at-home parent is taking their life, put it in a box, and put it aside, right? It is a tremendous amount of sacrifice to be a stay-at-home parent. You don't have a life anymore. You don't have friends. You're not having conversations. You have no social life. You don't have an adult body to talk to until your partner comes home. You're talking to a baby. You're talking to an infant. You're talking to a toddler. You're trying to entertain them. You're trying to do everything to make sure they're healthy, they're safe, they're fed, all of these things. And on top of that, you have to take care of the house as well, right? Oh, you have to go grocery shopping. Now you have to take this baby, make sure they're fed, put them in the car, and God help you, because as you're driving, that's when they want to spit up. That's when they want to vomit. That's when they want to have, a stool diaper. So instead of driving 20 minutes, you road to pull over somewhere to try to address them and make sure they're not choking or anything like that. And then you get there, and then you change the diaper, and then you put them back in the stroller, and then you go in, and then you buy the groceries, and then you come back home, and then you're like, what am I gonna do? Do I take the groceries in first and leave the baby in the car? No. Let's take the baby into the house first, make sure the baby's okay, and come out really quick and bring the groceries in. These are things that you don't have to think about if you don't have a baby to care for. And oh, by the way, have you showered yet? Did you brush your teeth? Have you done anything for yourself yet? As a stay-at-home parent, these are the things that go undone. Self-care, anything for yourself, almost always goes out the window because you are caring for this child or this children and the home. So the message is very simple. Stay-at-home parents actually work. It is one of the most underappreciated, one of the most difficult, and one of the most rewarding jobs, quote unquote jobs, even though they're not getting paid for it, on the planet. It's underappreciated because people think they don't do anything. It's very difficult because there is no end in sight. You're constantly doing something, you're constantly working. Even in the middle of the night when your partner's asleep, you're waking up trying to feed the child and attend to the child and do different things. And it's the most rewarding because I would hope you enjoy being home, taking care of your child and raising your child. Again, I'm not saying that those that go to work are any less than or any more than parents that stay at home. All I'm saying is this is not a competition between stay-at-home parents and parents that work. It's not a competition of who's better suited as a mother or as a provider or as a father or as a provider. It's not a competition. All I'm trying to say is let us change the narrative about what a stay-at-home parent goes through. They do a lot. They do a lot. And we don't even think about the emotional challenges they face, the periods of loneliness they face, the periods of depression they're facing, sitting there and wondering, where did my life go? Before this baby, I was able to do A, B, C, and D. Now this baby or babies are here, and now I can't do any of those things. Don't get me wrong, there's some parents that gladly enjoy being a stay-at-home parent, which is great. All I'm trying to say is we need to change the narrative. Stay-at-home parents do a lot. It is a very, very, very tasking job. It is a very, very difficult job that requires you to be emotionally stable, mentally stable, and physically stable to be able to carry out all the tasks that are required successfully. So let us embrace our partners that are stay-at-home parents and let us create time for them to have time for themselves. So yes, you're working 9 to 5, 8 to 6, you're working, you're, providing for the family. That's excellent. But every now and then, perhaps on a weekend, perhaps on a day that you're off, tell your partner, today's your day. Go out, go hang out with your friends, go shop, go do whatever for yourself. Just let it be you time. Even if it's for an hour and 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. Every week, let us try to create time for our stay-at-home parents to be able to go and take care of themselves if they so desire. This is not to disparage anyone. It's not to cause a storm on the internet about who's better and who's worse and this and that. Again, all it is to give flowers to our stay-at-home parents. Your work and everything you do is highly appreciated. We thank you for making the sacrifice to being at home, raising our kids, taking care of them, and all of those things. Your work is highly appreciated. Your work is respected. Your work is as undervalued as it is. We know what you do is very, very, very important, and we highly appreciate it. And for all the parents that are working and are unable to stay at home to care for their kids, again, what you do is just as important. We need a home. We need to pay the bills. We need all of these things. We need to be able to put food on the table. So your work is just as important. All I'm saying is, let us not say those that are staying at home are doing nothing, that they're useless, that they have it easy, that all they do is stay at home. And when you come home and things are not done the way you expect them to be, don't get upset. Just understand that there was a lot of other things that were being attended to, especially when you have a child that's difficult, spitting up all the time, colicky, gassy, child that's sick. That parent may not even have time to do any other thing but care for that child. And their work should not go unnoticed and unappreciated. Sorry if I offended anyone. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay blessed.